Hey, this is Redban, and you're listening to the Death Squad Podcast Network. This episode of Muff Said and all the podcasts that we do here at Death Squad can always be found on our website, deathsquad.tv, and on iTunes under Death Squad. Please subscribe to us on iTunes, and don't forget to rate and review our show. Also, if you want to help us out, the Death Squad store is open. We have t-shirts and stickers for sale. Just go to deathsquad.tv and click on Death Squad Store. If you want to do some shopping on Amazon, you can help us out also by clicking on the shop button. That will open up Amazon.com like normal, but anytime you make a purchase using that link, we get a few pennies every time you spend $1. And now, here is a brand new episode of Muff Said.
Death Squad!
Hey, this is Redban coming to you live from Death Squad Studios with a new episode of Muff Said, and here's our very sick, very sad little host, Ryan Keely.
Yes, I have small fault. I hate this mic setup.
You need to scoot backward. You're
okay, fine. I don't want to be so far away from you, Redban. I'm so far away.
It was designed so we could see more of your body.
But you're so far away from... I'm all alone.
Aww.
Forever alone. So my name is Ryan Keely. What's up? This is Muff Said. This is the podcast where we talk about all things nerd. Today, we are very lucky to have in studio one of my favorite people, Dave Johnson.
Woo.
He is a comic book artist extraordinaire and general badass. I'd also like to call you, you're kind of the godfather of Drink and Draw to me.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for you, I never would have gone to Drink and Draw, and then I never would have gotten as many awesome guests as we've had on this podcast.
Well, I don't know what to say about that.
Thank you. The podcast owes you a huge debt.
Well, I'm glad to be of help.
So what Redban is holding up right now is the Drink and Draw Social Club sketchbook, and you can buy this on the internet, and it's all drawings that have happened at Drink and Draw. For those of you who haven't heard me talk about it before, Drink and Draw happens every Thursday night at a bar downtown.
Casey's Irish Pub.
Casey's Irish Pub. And at about 7, 8 p.m., a bunch of artists show up, and they drink, and they draw, and I color in my coloring book.
Nice.
And it's incredibly awesome.
And you do it very well.
I do.
You stay within the lines.
I know I don't stay within the lines.
And you have the best crayons. You don't even use regular crayons. You use the cutest little like princess crayons that look like princesses.
I did, but I had to upgrade to the ultra crayon set because the princess crayon was they were holding me back.
Yeah,
I needed more colors.
Yeah, I went to my first drink and draw last week or the week before that, and that was one of the funnest times ever. And I wish I lived closer because I would definitely do that all the time. But unfortunately, like tonight, I'm here, and then by the time I get off here, just too much.
Late, and you're tired. I actually didn't know that you drew, and it kind of makes me mad that you have so many skills.
Oh yeah,
yeah, more skills than I do, and I hate you for it.
Oh.
I'm jealous.
Sorry.
Giving me small feelings.
I could teach you.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
What is this beer you gave us this time around?
Today, Saison season, which Saison's my favorite. So much flavor, right?
It's strong.
Yeah, this is a Saison. Wow, I can't even say that. Wow. Let's just close up on the bottle because I give up on trying to say that. Doddingien. Who wants to say that?
Saison de Doddingese. De Doddingese. What is that? Is that German?
Yeah.
It's a Belgian Saisonnière. It's unpasteurized. It's unfiltered.
What?
Yeah, it's delicious.
Let me find out what the percentage on this is because I'm sure it's strong as
40% hipster.
Shut up! Do not call me a hipster. I hate you so much. Where does it say how strong it is? It's super strong. We're gonna be wasted shortly.
Oh, it's perfect. Perfect way to get off of food poisoning is to get wasted.
Alcohol's good for you.
Or while you're sick. That's always good when you're sick.
My mom used to always warm up whiskey in the microwave, and she said that would, she never drank ever. And then, when she was sick, she would, pull out this bottle of Jack that she's had for 5 years, and she'd just pour one little shot glass, put it in the microwave, and then drink it when she was sick for some reason.
I used to date an Irish guy from Ireland, and depending on what kind of sick I was, it was either brandy or whiskey. And it was very specific about which I had to drink if I was sick. He's like, oh, well, your stomach's upset. You just need a wee bit of brandy. Will sort you out. And I'm like, okay. And then I'd have a sore throat, and he'd be like, oh, whiskey. You got to have whiskey for that one. I'm like, well, shouldn't I have brandy? He's like, no. Brandy's completely wrong.
Man, and he had the worst immune system ever. He was sick every day of it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So last week, Brian and I went to... Did you go to E3, Dave?
No.
No?
It's too much like Comic-Con. I'm so done with Comic-Con.
Really?
It's driving me crazy. I hate that show now.
Are you going to go this year?
No. I'm going to go down to San Diego and hang out with people. I mean, that was half the reason I would go anyway. But now it's not even a comic book show. It's a place to go to get free shit, and it's all about everything but comics. And there's so many other good comic book conventions. I'd just rather go there and avoid the hassle of Comic-Con altogether.
What are your favorite comic book conventions?
Heroes Con in North Carolina is really good for comics. Some of the ones up in Canada are really good. I'm about to go to Dragon Con. I'm going all over this year. I mean, I'm going to Leeds in November.
Wow.
I'm going to Dublin in September.
Wow.
And you just got back from New Zealand, correct?
Yeah, I went to New Zealand. I went to Australia before that. I mean, this comic book thing is fucking working out for me all of a sudden.
You are living the dream. That's my favorite thing
living the dream.
about bringing in comic book artists is that you think that you guys are super nerdy, and it's like you're traveling all over the world. You do have sex with young girls, I've noticed. The ladies seem to like you.
Wait. You mean girls of age?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're like, I can draw a clown for you, little.
Also, I've got candy. Yeah. Wait, what? What? You don't want to talk about the young ladies?
Let's not talk about too much of that. Come on.
All I know is that from what I
give you
understand,
trouble.
the ladies like you.
Okay. We'll
You're
leave it with that. We'll leave it with that.
Yeah. I love that no one wants to talk about their love life on this show. This is goes back to my theory that dating in LA is super freaking scandalous. Everyone's like, yeah, can't talk about my dating life in a public forum.
If people don't know what you're doing, then they can't bring it back on you later and go, what the hell are you talking about this? What the hell,
Whereas it's on the record as to say, which is, once you say something, it can be always YouTubed, which is unfortunately because I pretty much in my life, I started off on LiveJournal back in 91 or whatever, and I pretty much had to. There came a point where I'm like, well, I've already said enough or so much that I have to just go all in now with everything pretty much.
I mean, I'm pretty open with everything else. I mean,
everything but the ladies.
Once again, it's just going to cause problems. So why go down that road?
Yeah, at this day and age, you guys really can't get away with doing anything. Between Instagram and Twitter,
that is true. That's actually becoming a problem for me and editors, because I can't very well say. It's harder to tell a fib about why you don't have a job done.
Yeah.
When they're looking at your Twitter feed and you're partying up and so it's the problems of technology are starting to affect my life.
It totally, and mostly cheating, I would imagine. Pretty much anything nowadays, even if you were at a bar with somebody, the person could just read your tweets or people that tweeted at you and say, hey, I saw Redban tonight with some hot black dude, and it's like, oh, fuck.
Well, that's
Why do you say the word hot?
I've been going through this, and this is what happened back in Christmas over my epic breakup. It all came through a picture from Instagram, and that's how I found out that I was totally I wasn't being loved. And another good girlfriend of mine, her boyfriend had to go out of town, and he's working on a project out of town, and he And he's been acting weird, and he's like denying that anything's going on. But she found this girl on Instagram who's like posting pictures of herself in his bed. She's like, so
yikes!
Wow,
yikes!
Yeah, and she doesn't want to bring it up because she's like, well, now I look like the crazy stalker that stalked all your friends' Instagrams, and that's how I know you're cheating. But tagging like your location also is something I will never do because I've seen it in action with other friends, and it's not good. No. It's not good at all.
Yeah, I played some forensics science lately where I took an old photo from an ex-girlfriend, and she had turned on the location data on her phone was turned on, and now I know how to go back or read that, using programs. So I went back, and when she said she was at this one bar, I found out, oh wait, no, she was way on the other side of town, and too late. Too bad I can't do anything now because it's already over. But case solved.
Sure, yeah.
You're like, I have CSI'd this shit.
Yeah.
And now you got 10i and Google image search.
Yeah.
That's some scary stuff.
Yeah, the Google Eye thing where you just
What's the Google Eye thing? I don't know this.
You can put up a photo on Google Eye or Google image search or 10i
goggles,
and it will find every photo that not just looks like it or is the same photo, but photos that are very similar. So in other words, like if you can find out where that photo came from or originally, or say you have a nude photo of yourself that you think that only you and your boyfriend have seen, you put it in Google Image, it might bring up that same photo that he has posted on some obscure porn site,
right,
and didn't tell you about it.
Right.
And that's how you find out that he's now that photo is out in the world.
I am so glad that I professionally get naked on the internet.
Yeah.
Because at this point, like, I don't care. I'm like,
oh, you for it.
Yeah, actually, my favorite thing is when I date guys now, and they're like, oh, send me a sexy photo. And I'm like, bitch, Google image search me. Like, but it's not the same special pictures. I'm like, if I take a sexy photo just for you, I'm also going to post it on Tumblr for my fans.
Right.
Because you know what? They're probably going to stick around longer than you will.
But the future of that's really scary, and you could already do it now because as an example, you could post a photo of me and then Google search, and the more that people are taking photos with their phones and stuff, you could pretty much face track me and find me in photos in the background of bars and stuff with people, and so now it's going to be like show last 24 hours of this photo, and then wow, now you have surveillance everywhere you go.
I mean, before, if you uploaded a naked photo of your girlfriend or whatever, she could at least say, well, it's a drop in a bucket.
Right.
Drop in the ocean.
Right.
But that ocean now is getting smaller and smaller and easier to suss out, so it's not good.
So that's why we should just all dive in and just all be naked and cheat and have huge orgies in the streets like a Katamari ball.
Why can't they bring back Quaaludes?
Where did they go? They don't make them anymore?
No, and Quaaludes are like the orgy drug. That's why so I'm going to admit to doing something illegal right now.
All right.
I have done Quaaludes.
What? All right, explain, because that's one of those names I know, but I don't know what the fuck it is.
So Quaaludes, they were made in the 70s, and they quit making them because they have absolutely no therapeutic purpose. What they do is that they're kind of like being drunk, except that you're totally cognizant. So you have no inhibitions. Everything feels really, really good, but you're there like totally conscious. And I knew some friends that knew someone that was like this crazy scientist and was synthesizing them out in the woods. And so we're getting hooked up with Quaaludes. And every single time...
Can you die from Quaaludes? Is this something you can OD on?
Totally not. So if by OD you mean you take 2 and then you end up taking a nap, that's about as crazy as it gets. But every single time we take Quaaludes, I'd end up in an orgy, and it was awesome.
Wow.
It was like the coolest thing ever. I was like,
you sure they just rename it ecstasy or something?
Well, no, because I'm allergic to ecstasy, so it's not ecstasy. It's totally different.
How are you allergic to ecstasy?
I have a serotonin overdose, and it sucks.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I can't take it either.
Isn't Quaaludes just methylene now, or isn't it just methcolone?
Mescaline?
Mescaline. Oh, wait, no.
Mescaline's totally sweet too, but I don't know where to get that.
Right. I've always wanted to take the 1960s LSD.
Ooh, I used to be able to get that.
The government made. They made a big batch of it. It's like there's a story about this, how much they made, and it's like mythical.
Right.
And once that was done, they didn't make any more, and everybody's been
I wonder if it was different, because I mean I did the 90s acid, which I thought was pretty decent, like the Jesus Christ acid, the Bart Simpson shit,
the Alice in Wonderland on the Alice in Wonderland came
Mitsubishi. I remember Mitsubishi acid. It had the Mitsubishi logo on it.
I didn't have that stuff. No, I mostly got liquid acid, and then it was called the Alice in Wonderland. It came on these sheets that was paisley printed. Mm-hmm. It was amazing.
Yeah, I wonder if it was any different, or because I've always heard of that acid also, but I always wondered like, oh no, that was good, but the guys in the 90s found out how to do it and make it better. I wonder. Yeah. No, I just wonder. I don't know.
I've been thinking a lot about acid. If you've been watching Mad Men with Roger Sterling taking acid.
I know it's kind of making acid more desirable to try again.
Well, there's that great article in Vanity Fair a few months about it. It's all about all the celebrities taking acid way back in like the 50s and the 60s.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if did you think because I know I have, but using psychedelics, do you think it helped your art and the creativity and the because I think it for some reason after I did it, I just found like this new way to look at things. Like I remember I always say this, but the day after I did acid for my first time, I was driving to work the next day, and I was at a stoplight, and I looked at my steering wheel, and I think I had a little bit still in me or something, but I just remembered looking at the texture of the steering wheel, going, I've never noticed the texture of the steering wheel before. Ever. And I started noticing little things like that I never noticed before.
I'm just naturally fucking weird.
Yeah.
I mean, my art's always been a little off kilter and
awesome.
I mean, I'm just naturally looking. I think like doing drugs would just make me not just want to do anything. You know, I would just rather just
do drugs all day.
Well, just go with it. I mean, but yeah, I don't really, I mean, just even drinking and drawing, by the time I'm drunk, I've already got most of what I need to do down on the paper, and then I spend the rest of the night just kind of noodling with it.
Right.
So it doesn't necessarily help me become more creative. But then again, I haven't had a really good dose of LSD, so who knows?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't think I've gained anything more since. I still do mushrooms, but. I don't think I gained any more creativity or style from it, but I just remember the first because I was really big into art when I started doing acid. That's actually why I started doing acid, was for art. And then after that, I remember I just went to this whole nother level of art, at least at the time. And then I ever since then, I don't think I started drawing any different. Of course, I don't draw anymore. But
that's a shame.
As much, I would say. What are you laughing about, sick girl?
I am texting with my gentleman caller because I'm really mad at him.
What, right now?
Yeah, right now.
How dare you, woman?
I'm trying to get laid.
How dare
you? I'm trying to get laid. He's like, oh, I'm not feeling very well. And I'm like, well, I've got a nurse costume from Agent Provocateur. He's like, I'm really sick. And I'm like, I just said that I would come over in a nurse costume, and you're blowing me off like, oh, Saturday. And I'm like, fuck you. You're putting me up till Saturday? You don't get a
Saturday?
Sweet outfit. Suck a dick.
Saturday.
Wow. No, that's like 2 more days.
Right.
I'm going to dry out my furniture. Also, I was looking at Spork, which is awesome. So Spork, tell me about Spork, Mr. Reverend. Are you really a reverend?
Yes, I am. Back before the internet, when Universal Life Church you could become a reverend over via the mail.
Uh-huh.
And a buddy of mine was becoming one, so he could sell mind enhancing drinks, and there was some ingredients. Well, it was in the 90s when that whole you can drink stuff to make your brain bigger, and people were doing it at raves and stuff, and some of the materials they were about to the government was about to classify as a class 3 or whatever, but he found out if he could become a reverend, he could then claim it to be those materials, those chemicals, as a religious rite. That was his plan. And so when he sent his self-addressed stamped envelope off to the Universal Life Church, I was like, I'll do that. That sounds hilarious. So I did it. And it wasn't until like 10, 15 years later that I actually started saying Reverend Dave Johnson just because Dave Johnson's such a boring fucking name. You know,
Yeah,
I'm still pissed at my parents for giving me such a boring name.
Google searching you is really lame.
Yeah, no, it totally is.
Is that why you go by Devil Pig 666 on the Twitter?
Yeah, well, there's like a billion Dave Johnsons on Twitter. So,
Yeah.
But no, I've had Devil Pig for a little while, and it all started from a little porcelain pig that I found at a flea market that I brought home, and then I painted like a devil and added horns, and just because I thought it was funny, and and then it just kind of turned into a character, kind of like Death Squad. You know, the cat had just kind of turned into something, and I've been going with it ever since. So.
We should note real quick that Ustream took a shit, and so it's been cutting in and out, but I think it's good now. So if people didn't miss if people missed the beginning of this, the audio version will have everything that if the Ustream was fucking up version. Anyways.
Yeah, and you should be downloading us anyway because we're awesome.
Yeah, and Ryan. So to catch up, Ryan Keely's sick.
I'm sick too.
Oh, but everyone's sick. Oh, I totally missed that.
We all have cooties.
Yeah.
And we're here with Devil Pig 666,
a.k.a. Dave Johnson.
Dave Johnson.
And, okay, so tell me about Spork, because this is really cute.
Spork started out as a,
look at you in your own.
We used to do these little sketchbooks, 8.5 by 11, folded in half, printed up at Kinko's, just black and white. And I did a couple of those, and I called them Spork, Son of Spork, Bride of Spork. Mm-hmm. And then I've always been a big fan of Bible tracts.
That's exactly what these remind me.
Yeah. No, it's the same format, black and yellow. You're going to hell no matter what you're doing. Oh, you eat McDonald's. Oh, fuck you, you're going to hell.
We're all going to die.
So that's what I based it on, and they're really cheap to make. And so a lot of times I'll leave them in bathrooms just like Bible tracts are. And they're just, they're honestly just filled with sketches that I did while I was working at Warner Brothers Animation. And,
you've really worked all over in the comic book industry. Like you've worked for pretty much everyone.
Yeah. Warner. I was telling Brian before. Warner Brothers on Batman Beyond, Justice League Unlimited, Legion of Superheroes, and then over at Cartoon Network, I designed and developed Ben 10.
Which was Ben 10. That thing it has taken off.
It is huge. Yeah, that's all my original designs right there. For which I got a paycheck, and now, like I even had to buy my own toys. I mean, I didn't get shit off that. So.
Really, you had to buy your own toys? For something?
Yeah. I mean, it was just kind of like you can't even give me a toy. Like I have to go out to Target and buy my own goddamn toy. So yeah, I got no residual money off that whatsoever. It's just pure work for hire.
Is that something with artists in general, or do you find that that's very common that the artist gets screwed a lot?
Yeah, even the guys who, and they're mostly writers, the guys who originally pitched the show, I mean, they really didn't get that great of a deal on it either. I mean, they're just now starting to make some money on it. From what I understand, I mean, I haven't been seeing their paychecks or anything, but now it's big over in Asia now. I mean, it's global. I mean, matter of fact, when I was in New Zealand, they had a live Ben 10 show.
What?
A live stage show, and I was like, what the fuck? like just money I will never see.
Do you still like it? Do you have something like kind of like a God thing where you're like, no, I was one of the creators. You
know what happened was the producer on it, and I'm not even going to say his name. I'm not even going to start that up, but he was such a cocksucker, and that's why I actually left after the first 2 seasons. I said, you know what? I would rather stick needles in my eyes than work another day with you.
Wow.
And
is that hard to do though to walk away from something?
Actually, it wasn't. I mean, because I was still doing comics, and I just got to the age and a mindset in my life where I'm a grown ass man, and if I'm unhappy, go fuck yourself.
Right.
I don't need your shit. I'll find something else to do. So that's what I did. And turns out the very next episode on season 3, the guy who took my spot, who I brought in on season 2, and he basically took over. He did an episode which was all the characters were based on my characters, but he did a different version of them.
Wow.
and he won an Emmy for that. So if I had stuck around, I would have won an Emmy. Chances are.
Wow.
So to this day, I still give him crap. It's like, half that fucking Emmy is mine, you motherfucker. But he's a good guy, and I'm more than happy that he won. But the other guy can suck my dick till the dying day of my last breath.
Would you want to choke him with your shit?
Huh?
So I have this theory, like the worst thing you can do to someone is like, you don't want to just kill them, like you don't just want to make them like gag on your cock. Like when you hate someone enough that you just want to like choke them with your shit.
Yeah.
Do you hate him that much?
I used to. He kind of got his own comeuppance, because he was such a dick to everybody else, and it got to the point where nobody would hire him, and it was just a really bad scene for him, and I was. I had nothing to do with it other than the fact that, if anybody asked me what it was like to work with a guy, I'd say, good luck with that, I
actually wanted to bring you on because you have worked with a lot of people and you do have some stories. And so this is kind of awkward, but so I've been hanging a lot with like the POW people.
Yeah.
And Stan Lee has this reputation as being like this sweet old grandpa of comic books.
Oh, he's sweet, all right. But no, I used to work for Stan Lee Media. And
because they talk about it very briefly in the new documentary.
I bet you they talk about it briefly.
But they talk about it briefly, and
spot.
It doesn't really delve into what exactly happened there. And I was wondering if you could give us some insight.
All right, basically, I got hired after the company had already started. It was probably going on for about a year before I.
So Stan Lee Media is what Stan Lee did after Marvel. I guess how would you describe Stan Lee Media for people that are not familiar? Well,
Stan Lee Media basically started because this guy named Peter Paul and another guy named Steve Mitchell came to Stan Lee. Now, Peter Paul was, I guess where the story gets even weirder. He was a former federal prison parolee. He was a scam artist. He did like not a Ponzi scam, but like invest in this coffee that I've got coming up from South America, for super cheap. We'll bring it up and we'll sell it for a huge profit. And it'll be on this boat. And the boat, turns out, was already set to be scuttled. And so what he did was, he said, basically he found a boat that was already basically scrap. It was barely floating anyway. Mm-hmm. And he told everybody that the coffee was on this boat on its way from South America, which then sank. So he was like, which he wasn't going to give the money back. He's like, hey, that's just act of God. It's not my fault. All the coffee that you guys invested in sank. So he kept all the money, and eventually he got found out and he went to federal prison. He was also Fabio's manager at one point in time.
Serious?
Yeah. So anyway, with that connection, obviously not going to federal prison, but with the Fabio connection, he approached Stan Lee about starting this multimedia conglomerate company where they're going to rule the world because everybody knows how awesome Stan Lee is because he created Spider-Man and the Hulk and all that. But what nobody seems to realize is Stan Lee did that back in the 60s with some highly creative people like Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko.
And Mitsubishi.
and ever since then, nobody seems to remember, since the 70s, Stan Lee really hasn't created crap that has gone on to do anything. Mm-hmm. He's been riding those coattails from the 60s since then. But nobody who doesn't really know anything about comics, they just see the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
They don't see what's really behind it.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Precisely. So the basic plan was to build up a company using Stan Lee as a front, get as many celebrities involved as humanly possible. They hired George, who's the super tan guy, the gay Blade.
George Harrison.
George Harrison. We had all these celebrities always coming in. Shirley MacLaine, Tyra Banks. The list goes on and on and on. And it was all in a sense to create this image that Stan Lee was going to be the next Marvel Comics. Like, he's going to be creating these characters that are going to end up making everybody billions of dollars. And so the plan was to eventually go public. Peter Paul and the Steve Mitchell guy was they bought all this stock using dummy corporations.
Oh my gosh.
And the plan was to keep that company as inflated as they possibly could, even though they really had no product. They were doing webisodes, and this is before high-speed internet. Mm-hmm. So to get a webisode, for a 4-minute webisode, it would take you 30 minutes to an hour to download.
Ow!
Well, who's going to do that?
Right.
No one.
And then the plan was, the global branding. We're going to brand these characters with Stan Lee, and there's going to be theme parks and blah, 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 blah. Nobody really looked at the characters, and they were crap. They were, oh, my God, I had to draw these guys. I mean, and well, let me get back to the ultimate plan was to keep the company inflated until they were legally allowed to sell the stock. Mm-hmm. And then they would sell it as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, for a lot of the employees, they took stock over salary, and then to compound the problem, they went with Steve Mitchell's brother, who was a stockbroker, who also went to jail. And you think he's going to tell the people to dump their stock? No, they dumped their stock. The stock went into the toilet before the employees or anybody else found out that now the stock is basically worthless. And so now they basically are in jail for that.
Wow.
And I knew going in. I was there for 8 months. I knew going in, there's no way this company could ever make any money. Mm-hmm. There's just no way. I mean, it was all crap. But it was a paycheck. And every day, like clockwork, we played Quake. Because they had every computer was all linked throughout the company, and you're talking like 40 people all playing Quake on one server. I mean, it was so much fun. I mean, I just had so much fun. And then when the day came when after some layoffs, and then the day came when I knew we were all getting laid off. It was Stan Lee's birthday coming up. And all the employees chipped in, and I didn't want to do it, but they all chipped in to buy Stan Lee a gift. And at the same time, Stan Lee was selling everything that he owned, like on eBay. He didn't want all this crap. He even sold his desk. And I'm like, why are we giving him a gift that he's just going to turn around and not want anyway? But they did it anyway. And they got him a life-size Spider-Man statue, made from a mannequin.
I want it.
And it showed up on the day that we all got laid off.
Oh, God.
Right? So not only that, but it showed up missing a leg, which I thought was appropriate. Didn't have a leg to stand on. And but here's the thing that really, I lost all respect for the guy, Stan, at this point. He knew it was all going down. All these people, not necessarily me, because I couldn't give a crap. And I knew I had a job waiting for me at Warner Brothers anyway. And instead of going down and facing all these people that had worked diligently for him and really believed in him, he could have manned up and just gone down and put a face to what was going on, and he snuck out the back. Oof. And he made the new CEO, which they had talked into coming over from Sony. You had a perfectly good CEO job over at Sony, and somehow they talked him into coming over to be, Stan Lee CEO, and they made this guy do it. He hadn't even been there a month.
Wow.
So basically, he's telling everybody and telling himself that he is now screwed. And right after he said it, somebody had their computer set up to it was like an alarm to say it would play an audio clip randomly of whatever audio clips it had.
Right.
And right after he told us, everybody got silent, and that computer just happened to go off.
Wow.
Just when it did. And it was from The Day the Earth Stood Still, and it was a guy going, Klaatu Verada Nikto. And you can't write this. I mean, it was like, and everybody started laughing, or I was laughing. I don't know everybody else, but, because I knew that company was crap.
Right. Wow, that's crazy.
It was so crazy. And then Peter Paul, like I said, he tried to escape down to South America, and they caught him in the South American airport. And he actually stayed there for almost a year in whatever jail they have at an airport before he could be extradited back to America. Jesus. And now he's in federal penitentiary. So.
Wow.
Crazy.
Scandal in comic books. You heard it here first.
So, when I hear, wow or pow or whatever that thing is, I'm like, yeah, we'll see where that goes. I mean, some of my favorite moments, I was working in the marketing division. Because a buddy of mine who used to work for Marvel, he talked me into coming over, and I had a great time working with him. But having to go into Stanley Media, who is like, I don't know, 102 or something, and trying to pitch him T-shirt ideas. And I'm like, when he's shooting them all down, and I'm like, when was the last time you wore a T-shirt, you old fucking man? Like, what? I didn't know you had the pulse on what kids are wearing today. It's like, well, true believer, And
I'm just waiting for the part of the story where you're like, and then there was this one time when Stan came up from behind me and gently kissed me on the back of the neck, threw me down, and just started making love to me unwillingly, and like it seems like he raped you.
No, he didn't rape me at all. I mean, I just lost a lot of respect for the guy.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder if there is another side to the story, because unlike, there's always that shit where, where I have so much people talking shit about me and about what I did and what my actions are, and I wonder if there was a reason for it. That really sucks hearing anything. This is the first time I've ever heard anything negative about the guy.
You haven't talked to the right guys. Oh my God. There's so many stories about Stan Lee and the creators like Jack Kirby and I mean, he's the grand old father of comics. I get it, and I've got nothing against the guy at all. I mean, I totally get it, and but at the same time, he's human like everybody else. He makes mistakes. He takes credit for things maybe that he shouldn't sometimes, or he inflates what his job was at certain times, and I mean, it is what it is. I'm sure people are going to hate me for what I've just said.
Well, there's definitely has some kind of weird Stan Lee thing that you're kind of protected. He's protected somehow in the media. You don't see him on TMZ flashing his cooch.
Like you said, he's not a bad guy. I'm just saying. I mean, I thought that was kind of kind of shitty.
Yeah.
I mean, he should have come down and talked to everybody. I mean,
absolutely.
If anything, just so they could give him that legless or one-legged Spider-Man, thing. That's, I don't know where that is now. He probably sold it up on eBay, but it was just weird.
It is weird.
I had a good time.
I like just to imagine in my head that cut to Stan Lee in an office somewhere crying, looking at a photo of his staff that he kept in his
I doubt that ever happened.
And he's like tries to stand up, but he faints, and then his like little lady assistant like helps him up. He's like, Stan, you don't have to go down there. And he's like, I want to. And then he like passes out, and she has to like carry him to the car or something.
I would have gone down there. I mean, my name's on the company.
Right.
I would have gone down. I would say, hey, we tried. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
Shit hit the fan. I'm not going to jail, bitches. I mean, it was close. He was, wow. If he had probably gotten a little bit more involved in it, he might have actually gone to jail for it.
So maybe his cuteness is what kept him from going to jail.
Yeah, no, I mean they were definitely looking at him because he was signing his names on certain things, like certain contracts that were very, very suspect.
Right.
A lot of creditors lost their shit, and a lot of it was a bad situation. But I do have one funny story. I was in the bathroom one time at Stanley Media, and I was in the far stall. We had 3 stalls and some stand-up urinals. And, I'm a shy shitter. I can't do it when anybody's in there. I'll just sit there and wait till it's quiet again, and then I try to go really fast. So I'm sitting in there, And all of a sudden the door opens up and I hear Stan Lee's voice talking to another guy. Now Stan Lee gets in stall number 1. I'm in stall number 3. And the other guy's in one of the stand-up years. And they're conversing about something. I don't know what.
How can you talk with people when you're having a poo? I'm sorry.
Well, he hadn't started yet. And then that guy finished up. He flushed the toilet. He left. So now I realize I'm sitting in a super quiet. I mean, this thing was like a tomb. And I'm like, God damn. I mean, you could hear everything. And I'm sitting in there with Stan Lee, and he doesn't know I'm in there. And he just it was
blows the shit up while masturbating to Mary Jane.
No, thankfully, and I'm trying not to lose it, man. I'm just like, oh, shut up, don't breathe, don't cough, don't snort, just get through this. And my big, and then I realized if he says Excelsior, I'm gonna lose it. Excelsior! I would have lost it.
I would be laughing if I had to do that, but I could just imagine him being like, "Oh, here's a good one." Just making weird gremlin noises or something.
Make mine Marvel. So, let's move on to something else before Stanley fans come after me and want to kick my ass.
You can light him on fire at Twitter, and that's at DevilPig666.
Oh, that
Hey, you know what happened? What can I say?
And that's,
I don't hold anything back,
No, and I'm actually...
You should hear some of the stories I talk about myself, I'm ridiculous.
I want to look at this YouTube video that you gave me of something that you made.
Speaking of pooing.
I thought it would be perfect timing for it.
Yeah, it's real brief, so you could probably play the whole thing.
All right, let's take a look at this. Hopefully this works.
Volume.
Is there volume right now?
Yeah, you need volume.
All right.
Start it all over.
Why is this not working?
It's basically a homage to the old Russ Meyer's coming attraction, previews. Very, I was trying to do that,
The style of it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take it. Here we go.
Nope. You should still hear something.
Oh,
there you go. Yeah.
I hate when YouTube does that. Sometimes it just automatically mutes it for you for no reason.
Yeah, crank it up.
In a world of deadly death filled with noxious gas and super hot action behind the wheel comes Flatuline, a super vixen with irritable bowel syndrome, but her odoriferous output is pure nitrous. Flatuline. Racing is all she knows, and she knows a lot. She's got fantastic curves, but a deadly ass. Flatuline. Men desire her, then smell what she's offering up, then don't want her anymore. Flatuline. Her only friend is her mechanic, a flesh-eating zombie named Cal Dabber, who lost his nose a long time ago. Flatuline. She's not silent, but definitely deadly. Flatuline. Vroom, vroom. Flatuline!
I'm not stinky, you douchebag.
Yes, you are. Coming to Adult Swim soon. Or maybe not. Who the hell knows what blows up their skirts these days? Flatuline.
That's awesome. Now, did you really make that for Adult Swim?
No, well, I've also worked for Titmouse Studios, a guy that do Metalocalypse, and now they're starting to do Venture Brothers. And it was a great place to work because once a year they would do what they called the 5-second animation day. And they would pay the employees to come in, and they had all day to come up with 5 seconds worth of animation. And the first time we did it, everybody pretty much did 5 seconds. And then the second year, I was like, I don't really animate, so I wanted to do something that had more still imagery. So that means I could do something a little longer, and it wouldn't be so bad. And that's what I did.
That's awesome.
I love it. If it was a comic book, I would read it. If it was a show, I would watch it.
It is a comic book, kind of now. Titmouse actually has their own compilation book called Titmouse, and I've already done 2 episodes, little 8-page stories in the first 2 volumes. So,
well, we will have to look into that.
Yeah,
it makes me think of Love Bunny and Mr. Hell, which has been my favorite comic book of the last 2 months because she also has IBS and is a superhero.
Well, it's funny. In the second episode of the comic that I did, it's called that story's called Burrito Butt Baby. And she ends up eating this giant burrito for a contest, and she, wins $100. And anyway, later on that night, she wakes up and she's got like the Ethiopian belly because the gas is just expanded, and she farts so hard that it gives birth to a fart cloud that toxin farts. So it's like her dog at that point. It's like, what's that, Lassie? Like, Timmy's down the well.
See, that shit I don't care how old I'll get, I will always love that shit.
Yeah, fart humor is always fun.
Like, South Park's really good at that, the farting and the shit and the humor.
It's hilarious.
I mean, it really came about because I was watching Adult Swim, and they had some show that it was all, like, shitty computer, like, not even good computer stuff, but it was, like, really stiff. And it was some guy that looked like Iggy Pop, and he had an eagle on one hand and a snake on the other. And I was like, God, it's like the dumbest. I mean, I tried watching it. It was like the dumbest fucking show I've ever seen. And I was like, if they can do that, I can come up. I just said, what's the dumbest idea I can come up with? And I came up with Flatuline.
Flatuline's brilliant and beautiful.
Yeah, I just wanted to. I've always been a big fan of like the hot rod culture and Russ Meyer and all that. And it's basically about a racer, Flatuline, who sells her soul to the devil.
Can we talk about Prometheus? Speaking of alien pregnancies, baby.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either. I'm not going to.
Fuck you both.
I'm not going to see it.
I'm too busy.
I heard it's shit.
As soon as it comes out on DVD, Jeff Johnson and I are going to do a Muff Said Theater 3000 on Prometheus because I have so much to say about that movie.
All right.
Worst movie ever?
I'm going to go with accidentally hilarious.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I heard it. I heard shit from. I haven't heard one good review about it. But I heard that the biggest thing was that they tried to make like kind of like almost a love story in space. Like it was just cheesy almost.
I'm just going to say accidentally hilarious and worst scientists ever.
I know Neil deGrasse Tyson had a good, funny thing about it.
I love him so much.
Well, at one point, Charlize Theron's character basically says that they're something like 12 billion miles away from Earth, and because he's an astroscientist, he was like, "Wait, that's just past Saturn." Like you can't get anything over on that guy. It's like it's got to be spot on, scientifically accurate, or he's gonna kick your ass.
I just don't understand like why they don't. They're making spending $100 million in a movie. Why they don't spend like $1 million in the script and like $200 to have a physicist come in and take a look at it real quick?
Right.
I don't know.
I saw a good movie, and this is probably like a movie that everyone's like, oh, duh, everyone's seen that movie. But I watched it the other night. It's called Summer Wars. It's an anime movie. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not.
Never heard of it.
Never even heard of it?
What's it called?
It's called Summer Wars. Okay, I want to show you a preview of this because it's one of those Blu-rays I've had for a while, and I've just never watched it. And I watched it last night, and it was very interesting because it was very realistic to the point where it's almost like they're talking about Google in some ways, or just how people are putting too much trust in certain companies that collect information.
And then it kind of definitely true.
And it I just love it. And I don't know. Here's the trailer of it, but I don't know if it's going to be like shit. Why is this? I don't know if this is going to be like show you that much of what the actual movie is or not. But let's take a look.
Oz is a virtual world where people from across the globe can come together online. Many administrative agencies and local governments maintain branches in Oz. Your personal information is safe thanks to the most advanced encryption system known to man. You're free to enjoy Oz without a care in the world.
Hey, let's choose a theme for this summer. How about girls?
Perfect, huh?
I'll stick to watermelon and fireworks.
You are bland with a capital B.
Hey, you want a job?
Well, that's kind of what we're doing. We run maintenance checks on Oz.
Hold on a second, Natsuki. Maybe I can help you.
Really?
Hey!
Just go along with whatever I say.
Okay. What are you gonna say?
Fiance?
What? No. Absolutely not.
Just pretend you're my boyfriend, okay?
Can't do it.
Genji will make a wonderful addition to the family.
What am I doing here?
Japanese society depends on Oz access for everything from shopping.
I feel really sorry for our audio listeners right
What's
now.
going on?
Well, there's some tentacle porn going on.
There is not
What's
tentacle
it doing?
porn.
So what happens at 0?
This is your fault.
Honey, what's happening? I mean, this isn't real, right? It's just a game, isn't it?
I only developed the thing. It isn't like I told it what to do.
I'm sorry. I couldn't.
What won't do you any good? You gotta work for an answer.
Why is all this happening?
Never turn your back on the family, especially when times are rough.
It's kind of like war games and mixed with maybe like like a different kind of Matrix kind of movie.
Well, yeah, it's a whole like what is reality?
Can I borrow it?
Yeah, you can totally borrow it. I have it on Blu-ray. It's great, but check it out somewhere worse.
Because I know a lot of like really theoretical physicists have started talking about that. I mean, and even within things that we do know, like how fast computer technology is growing, like eventually it will get to the point where, you know, like where will the line be drawn? Like what is reality? You know, with the whole Half-Life and what's the other the game where you just you
Second Life?
Second Life. Yeah. I mean, eventually it will get to the point where you won't be able to distinguish if it keeps going the way it's going.
Oh yeah,
dude.
And who's to say that we aren't doing that right now? Right. I mean,
gargoyle me up, man. I'm serious. With all the phone problems that I am constantly having, like I can't wait for it to be just like in Transmetropolitan, where I can just swallow a pill and have a phone trait, and then I just have like a phone in my system. I can't fucking wait, dude. I will be gargoyled like in Snow Crash. Like, do it. Like, cyborg me.
Yeah.
Like, make me better. Jack me into the system.
We should talk about E3.
Oh yeah, we did do that.
So me and Ryan went to E3 and we interviewed a couple people, and we're going to show you a little bit of it right now. I had fun. Did you have fun?
Yeah. And it really made me feel like I was living in the future. The ginormous screen over at motherfucking Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah. They had a screen that was like the size of, I don't know how would you even explain it. Let's do this. 20 cars lined from car to car.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Huge.
But and they played like the trailer of it every couple minutes, and it looks fucking awesome. It takes place in the future.
This is for Black Ops 3?
2.
3.
I can't fucking know. The new Call of Duty, but it takes place in the future, and they showed like Los Angeles in the future, like 20 years from now or something like that, and it was pretty badass. I'm sure the trailer's online. So here's some video that we took of it. We can kind of narrate it because the sound is just ridiculously loud. But these are some new toys that we saw, some new Batman toys. Here's Ryan.
I love the new Batman toys.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing one. I'm doing
you are?
You know those black and white statue toys.
You're
it's
so
like
fancy.
Batman Black and White.
Like
the artist series.
Yeah.
Like a different. Yeah, I designed one. So
you know, one of my favorite toys that came out is Paul Pope did a Playboy bunny, and I have been dying to get my hands on one of those.
Oh.
And I don't even like toys; I don't collect them, but I want one of those, and I want one of yours too because I like you.
Oh, and then this is here we're watching. This is where Ryan said that I should get my pictures taken with a couple of Asian girls.
What is the point of going to a convention if you're not going to perv on the booth, babes?
Yeah, well, what was so funny is that we waited forever to do that, and I was more amazed by the printer system that they used. Let's see, I should probably have edited this video. This is us in line. But
I had to hold your purse.
Oh, here we go. This is me getting my photo taken with the Asian girls.
It's like you're squatting. What?
He needed to go potty. Don't judge him.
Or something?
Yeah, I was doing an action shot.
Let me turn the tables and gone.
see, and they got a photo, and what's cool, it was automatically green screen, which is not a big deal, but I thought it was pretty cool because they used an iPad in a printer system, which I think was cool. This is Ryan looking at the new Star Trek game,
which was so boring.
I think you say that.
Well, it's got to be true to Star Trek.
So the guy that I'm dating is refusing to watch Doctor Who, but is a huge Star Trek fan, and it might. Yeah, I'm like, you won't watch Doctor Who with me? Totally bored.
Yeah, so that's that.
Wait. Yeah.
And then here is...
I don't want to watch Star Trek, but I feel like I should for my nerd cred.
Here's Ryan getting ditched by some lady to play the new Wii U, which is Nintendo's new thing, which you played for a while. You did like 4 of them, and you were playing, which was the Wii Fit game, the new Wii Fit games, which was like there was a trampoline one. There was a.
I did not play the trampoline one because I was wearing high heels.
You look like you're being beamed up. I mean, the light is just crazy.
Right. What I love, though, is no one... We had been waiting in line for a while, and then the second Ryan gets on there, some camera guy just decides to start out of nowhere.
Lurking.
Yeah, he just came out of nowhere, and he was just, like, recording, and she's like, what the fuck is this?
This girl was so hot, you can't tell because it's blown out, but the girl that was being helpful was smoking hot.
Yeah, she was really, really hot.
The thing about the Nintendo, like, okay, so I have a Kinect, and I have Kinectimals, I have Connectables with Bears, I have Dance Central, I have all of the games. I do not want to stand up and play video games.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
Either.
I don't, like, yes, this was fun to do at a convention just to try out the new tech, but as a consumer, like, I'm sorry, I'm going to sit on my ass and not stand up.
And I don't even want to move my hands. I just want to move my thumbs. You know, that's about as much effort as I want to put into a video game.
Now, did you like the new controller? How did it feel in your hands?
Well, you know that I hate console games because I just don't have the skills for them, so I like iPad games. Though I just started playing the Family Guy game that I signed up for on the last day, their MMO.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, here's my favorite one. This is the one I like the best.
Is that called Sleepover?
Huh? Yeah, This is where you spoon a Nintendo Wii representative.
Nice.
No, this was bobsledding. Is that what it was?
It was luging.
Luging, yeah.
There was a camera hidden in that console.
Oh, yeah.
Looking up her skirt right now.
Oh no, I tried to do it, but I fail. Like I think I do it right when she starts. But it was cool because the Wii detects you're rocking left and back and forth. And then once you go, see, I'm trying to do upskirt. Come on, upskirt. No, shadow. Fuck shadows. That's why shadow boxing exists, because of shit like this.
My legs are looking pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
compliments to my trainer. Jesus Christ.
Fuck yeah. So yeah,
this was the ab workout game. So like the whole thing with the new Wii Fit is that they're trying to make like the workouts fun.
Yeah.
So this is like straight like a core exercise, but they're having me like luge.
Yeah, I want to see a 300-pound guy do that.
Right.
We did see some fat guys do it. It was amazing.
Yeah. This right here. Wait, let's see if...
this is EverQuest 2?
No, wait. I filmed something after this, I thought. All right. Yeah, this was pretty cool. This is you playing the new EverQuest face traction, which pretty much what it's showing right now is that when you're playing a game, it can detect your face. So kind of like the webcam technology that Logitech uses. Cool. But it's cool. So now, like when you have like a headset on or whatever, and you're a character in EverQuest, it pretty much mimics your face. So when you talk, the character talks, and as you can see here, Ryan's a frog.
I'm totally sexy frog. What's up?
This was really cool. While she was playing EverQuest and nerding out for like an hour,
shut up.
I went to the video game Hall of Museums, which showed all these old systems from all the way back from the 70s. Obviously, the Game Boy's not the biggest one, but you had the Intellivisions, the ColecoVisions,
my buddy had that.
All the old ones. And what I was really fascinated with was like all the merch that came with here. And if we'll just kind of look at all this shit right here. They had a table of like stickers and just old advertising and stuff from from like all the old systems of the 80s. And if you grew up playing video games in the 80s, you're going to probably look at a lot of this shit and just be like, wow, I remember like this box art, and I remember these instructions, and there was a lot of books and TV guides and stuff like that I remembered.
I'm 46, so I was there right when Pong first came out. That's about, I was playing, pinball, and then Pong came out, and I was like, whoa, what is this? And just kept going from there. That was amazing.
Yeah, I had a lot of these books, and I think I still do. They're showing like that was what was really big in the 80s, because there wasn't the internets and there wasn't video game magazines. I remember when video games first came out, I was so addicted to video games, and there wasn't a video game magazine at the time. So the only thing that even had the word game in it was Games Magazine, which was crossword puzzles and shit like that. And so I remember buying that and thinking oh, it's so close to being about video games. One day there'll be a magazine.
And yet so far.
Right.
That was actually really cool. I really liked this exhibit. Okay, so if anyone knows where I can get my Super Nintendo fixed in LA, please send me a message on Twitter.
Why don't you just buy a new one on $30 on eBay?
Because I like the one that I have. And Nintendo Dan in San Diego got it all fancy.
I'm just saying that you can buy you could buy a new one off of eBay for $30 instead of paying $80 for finding somebody.
Time and effort.
All right, fine. Well, we'll set up the Muff Said Amazon wish list soon, and the first thing that's going on is I need a new Super Nintendo.
All right, and remember Rob the Robot? There's Rob. Anyways, and then we went by to the Family Guy game, and here is Adam West signing autographs.
I love his random manager guy. That's my favorite guy. The whole thing. The Fabio hair and the glasses. It's like, you're not cool. You're just hanging out with someone cool.
Yeah, that was showing a robot. Oh, here's the screen that we were talking about that was 20 cars wide. I don't know if you can kind of get the idea of how big that screen was. And pretty soon we'll actually show it what happens. Here's the trailer, the countdown that went on every 30 seconds.
It wasn't every 30 seconds. It happened
a couple of minutes.
Yeah, every couple of minutes.
And it was amazing to see the crowd that would gather to see the new Black Ops trailer.
Those computers. Robots, whole unmanned armies, and no one ever asks what happens when the enemy steals the
So far, I love it.
I know.
It's like the scene from
I just want to say that he is only able to get about half the screen in this shot.
Yeah. It's showing Los Angeles 2025. Which is more like 2013.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, it's my neighborhood.
Wow. Check out this screen, how big it is. It just goes way down there.
We live in the future.
Yeah. So I'm sure everyone's probably seen these trailers. I might throw up this whole vid on Vimeo, so if anyone wants to watch this whole thing, we're just kind of skipping through a lot of this. And now this next guy, he's a professional gamer that we're friends with on Twitter. His name is MuzzaFuzza, and you could follow him on Twitter. But this is a interview we tried to do at E3, which is really loud. So hopefully this works. But let's take a look.
This E3 was a top trial one. Next year we're going to do it better.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Hey, I'm here with... Closer together. What? Stand closer together.
Why?
Because it looks awkward. Let's get a better background. Film it this way.
See, look at me being bossy. I get so bossy.
All right. Let's get you over here in the light.
See, this is me being really bad at producing.
It's still too dark.
How do you pronounce the name? MuzzaFuzza.
Here,
like motherfucker.
Closer together. I know it's weird. I know it's weird, but it looks better.
I'm here. The first time I met him, he's already groping me.
Stand awkwardly apart. And your faces are way too dark.
Oh, that's why we have to face this way. All right.
The background's awful.
Who cares? It's for audio. I'm here with MuzzaFuzza.
And I'm here with Brian Redban.
And we are here at E3. What are you doing here? I heard you have something to do with video games.
Yeah, so I've got a YouTube channel with about 430,000 subscribers.
What?
And this is my second E3, coming down, playing the games, hanging out. And I'm a huge Death Squad fan.
Thanks.
I've always been. I've listened to literally every Joe Rogan Experience podcast from the very beginning, which if you total that up, that's like over 600 hours.
Wow.
So I've kind of bonded with you, Brian. I've seen the ups and downs. I've seen the fights. I've seen everything.
You know me more than Ryan Keely knows me.
Exactly.
Who's holding the
I'm
camera.
getting jealous.
What's your main game? What do you do? Are you a Call of Duty guy?
Yeah. So,
what do you think of that new? Like, we just watched the new Call of Duty. What do you think of that?
Black Ops 2. It looks pretty legit. It's the first Call of Duty that's going to be in the future. It's supposed to be in 2025, which is pretty cool. I'm not really a fan of Modern Warfare 3. I think they kind of dropped the ball.
Right.
So hopefully Treyarch will pick it back up.
Did you see the one we did with Mark Rubin from the Muff Said podcast we did? With Mark Rubin from
Infinity Ward.
I didn't. I haven't watched the Muff Said. I keep up with all the JREs, and every now and then I'll watch an Ice House
Why am I
Chronicles.
recording this if you're not watching my show?
I'll watch your show after this, Ryan.
What was weird though is we had him on, and he's with Infinity Ward, and I don't know if they had announced that it was in the future, but I had said it would be cool if they went into the future, and if it would be like Halo. Like they only went to 2025, I think, in this new one.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty sweet.
Decently in the future, and it's got drones, and it's got robots, and all this crazy shit. And it's gonna have zombies, which is probably the best part about it. They're really expanding on the zombies concept.
Oh, that's cool. Now, do you mostly play on Xbox and PS3? Are you a console gamer?
So I started doing this in college. I was living in the dorms. I didn't have any money. I was broke as a joke, and I just bought this Dazzle DVC 100 to record my Xbox gameplay. Started there, eventually got to HD after I earned like 35,000 subscribers on YouTube, and then partnered up with a network, and now they're flying me down here for events, and now I'm here.
That's awesome, man. That's congratulations.
So yeah, I don't really consider myself a pro gamer. I don't do tournaments or anything like that, but I do know what I'm doing, and I play video games for a living, so that's cool.
Now, is your videos more like skill stuff, or is like the fun things where you jump out of an airplane, throw a grenade on something, and get back in the airplane?
Yeah. I'm probably most known for sniping. I do the quick scoping, I do the sniping, I get triples where you get 3 kills with 1 bullet, and I make montages. My Black Ops montage is the biggest Black Ops montage ever. It's got 3.2 million views.
Holy shit.
So,
where do you live? Do you live here in California?
No, I come down to LA. This is my 7th time visiting LA in the past 2 years, so I'm coming down a lot more. I'm moving to LA at the end of this summer, but right now I'm living in Bozeman, Montana, which is where I went for college.
That's why you have so much time to play video games.
Yeah, that's why
Exactly.
Man, I would love to have you in the studio sometime.
Anytime, brother.
That'd be awesome.
I'm a huge fan.
Are you just out tonight, or just?
What parties are you going to tonight?
So yeah, we're going to a party tonight. I don't know if you follow Minecraft, but the biggest Minecraft channel is also here in town.
Oh wow!
They're celebrating hitting 1 billion views on YouTube.
Whoa!
And they're throwing a party. You guys are both welcome to come if you want to come. It's from 5 to 9 on top of the W in Hollywood.
I'll be doing stand-up comedy with Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah, you guys are doing an Ice House show.
I'll be getting blacked out with the IGN people.
Alrighty. Well, yeah, that's what I'm doing, but I'm free tomorrow and I'm here till Sunday, so I would love to come on a show.
If you're not busy Friday, we have a show at the Ice House, and you can get down there, man. So we. My mic's not on. There we go. So
you turned my mic off too.
Well, I turned it both down just to kind of fix the audio, so it wouldn't be any more noise. But yeah. MuzzaFuzza is MuzzaFuzza on Twitter, and he's a nice guy, and I think he might actually be coming on the Joe Rogan show in the future, is what I heard recently. So and we might have some more interviews from E3. We won't do them all. We did get to talk to Cliffy B at one point. We also got to. That reminds me. There's some more video that I want to show next time. Also, that wasn't on there.
This show has so much magic.
Yeah,
so much magic.
But let's get back to Devil Pig.
We're paying attention to you, Dave.
What was it like working at Cartoon Network? Because that's like a dream. And to me, if I was to work at any animation studio, I would think that would be like the most laid back and fun.
No, Titmouse.
Titmouse
is Cartoon Network liked to, present the facade of it being a very fun family kind of thing, but I feel like Titmouse actually does that and it's not just lip service. I mean, like you said, the whole 5-second animation day. They constantly do parties for their employees, putting on events. They do this thing called the Smashing Party every year, where they put you in a cage for like a minute or two, and you can smash whatever you want to bring. And they've got all these different implements, and there's booze and bands.
What kind of things do people smash?
Yeah, I've actually heard of this before. You bring in TVs, or you bring in fucking cars. Even I heard
whatever you want. I mean, as long as it's not liquid and it's not on fire. So anything you want to bring in to smash, you bring it in. The last, not this past one, but the one before, I brought in a female mannequin, and I had these Chinese swords, and I decapitated her, and then went at her with
close your ears. He's not talking about you.
Yeah.
Speaking of samurai shit, can we talk about your samurai warrior outfits?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry to totally segue, but you said samurai swords. And one of my favorite things about Dave Johnson, well, there's a lot of things I like about Dave Johnson, but we're going to be friends in the zombie apocalypse because he made samurai armor out of Rubbermaid trash cans, which means that we're going to need him for food recon.
Yeah, we showed it on earlier Muff Said, and we showed a few of them, but I want to find the you said he made some Batman.
Yeah, it's in my photo stream, Kudzu Tech on Flickr. KUDZUTECH on Flickr, and basically when I made the first one, I'd gone to Japan, and I was seeing all the Japanese armor in display, and when I got home, I needed a Halloween costume because I like building that shit. I don't like to buy stuff, and there he is.
Dave Johnson is very manly. For all the ladies out there, he can build stuff.
Yeah,
look at that. He made that.
So, I just got home, and I realized it's probably not that hard to make, and I just needed a material, and I just picked Rubbermaid garbage cans because they had those like a pebbly texture, and you could bend it and heat it up and cut it fairly easily, and I was too dumb to use any other material, so the first year I did a red samurai armor. I think that's the one you showed on the first program. And then a couple of years later, all my friends kept talking about it. And I was like, well, why don't we... I wanted another armor because I've got both of them on mannequins in my house, like sculptures. And I was like, well, they all wanted me to help them make, their own armor. And I was like, well, if we're going to do that, let's do something fun. And I came up with the idea to make the Justice League as samurai armor. So we had Green Lantern, The Flash, Aquaman, who else? And I took the red armor from the first year and just added an S to it. So it's the same armor, but just, and we just had, different people. So it was great. I mean, I don't get into the whole wearing it, as much as I just wanted to make it and then put it up on a mannequin and just be badass.
Well, very soon, I'm going to send you the dirty pictures that I took standing in front of
I've only seen little snippets of that. I've
got full photo sets for you.
Yeah, awesome.
What do you use, a Dremel for this? Is this that your main tool?
Yeah, Dremel, X-Acto, like a utility knife. All the elements are all screwed in. I mean, it I had somebody attack me one year while I was wearing the red one with a sword. He was just being a douchebag.
What?
Yeah, it was at a party. He came up and he started hitting me with it because he thought it'd be funny. Well, no, but it still didn't hurt. I was like, oh, fuck you, dude. Would it work against a real samurai sword? Probably not very well, but it would give me at least a couple of seconds of protection.
I think they should take you to the Smash Tank at Titmouse and put you in there with your samurai armor and see how long you last.
Quit
objectifying me. I'm a person with thoughts and feelings. And spectacular breasts.
I've thought about bringing it down to Comic-Con and just wearing it around. But
her boobs? I want to wear boobs at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can motorboat myself. Hold on.
Try it again.
Nope.
Almost. I'm just drooling on myself.
Well, feel free to keep doing it then.
Hold on, one more time. This is like the equivalent of me trying to suck my own dick.
Yep. You need to get bigger boobs then, I guess.
Time to upgrade.
You can only queef one at a time. You can only queef them.
I'm just hoping for a nip slip.
I know, that's what I'm waiting for also.
No, we get thrown off Ustream if I do that.
Oh,
boo.
Boo.
I need to talk to them about that and to see if we could have like a private restricted Ustream channel or something like that, and they could sell advertising.
Taters for days.
You know?
It's just a boob.
I know.
I mean, come on.
We all have them.
Yeah.
I used to suck on my boobs when I was a kid because I wanted boobs so bad and I didn't have them, so I'd just like stand in the mirror and like imagine they were boobs.
Just get fatter.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I keep a little chub on me so I could always have backup.
Find a fold and fuck it.
That would be cool to be so fat that you had so much fat on your dick that you could use it as its own vagina. You know, like you could just kind of like tuck up some fat over there.
I don't think that's how that works.
Doesn't work?
I don't think that's how that works.
I don't
But
see
now
that
I am
being
tempted to
positive in any
Google
light.
like fat naked. Now this is what's happening. Fat naked penis.
Fat naked penis.
Let's see what this pulls up. Google image searches. God, I love the internet.
I know.
I used to keep the photo of the guy with the world's largest penis that was on Howard Stern on my phone, and I used to show, like try to freak him out, like, yeah, here's my penis.
Now I want to see what fat naked penis looks like, so I got to do it. Fat naked penis. Google.
It's a fat naked penis.
None of them are penises. Have you noticed? It's just a bunch of. Oh wait, never mind.
They're all sucked in. They got innies.
They all look kind of the same, I guess.
Oh my god!
Delicious.
I mean, when you get to a certain fatness, you no longer have a penis. You have an innie. You don't have an outie anymore. You got an innie.
I have a girlfriend who's like who you've met. Actually, you know my really hot friend from Seattle.
Yeah.
She's a chubby chaser.
Really?
What's her name? Is she hot? You said she was hot?
She's very hot. I'm not going to call her out on the internet because she works in politics.
I owe her a piece of art. That just sparked my memory. I never sent her a piece of art, so
make it
like
so.
I owed her.
Well, speaking of art, we want to have you make our Muff Said banner or logo.
Really? All right.
Because you are like Dave Johnson is like you're like one of the top cover artists in all of comic books. Like you really are. Like, for me, 100 Bullets is really defined by your work.
No, thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
that would be fucking badass.
And I want to be a superhero.
A sexy superhero.
I don't have to be sexy. Just as long. Well,
you just have a giant muff, or
yes, just a huge muff,
just a big Derventer bush sticking out from in between your outfit.
Speaking of muffs, so next week I'm shooting for. I'm going to have my own app on Android. It's going to be a dirty app, and the thing is that they need to take high-res close-ups of my vagina, and they've requested. I've been growing my pubic hair since I got my tits done back in 2010.
What is
I trim it. Okay, I trim it.
What is it, down to your knees now? Or
okay, I'll show you.
Whoa!
Hide the camera.
All right.
Hide the camera. All right. Yeah. So it's not crazy or anything.
Not too bad.
No,
not too bad.
I can't.
Oh, we're getting kicked off now.
I can't see it. Let me see it.
Yeah.
I'm hiding behind the laptop.
Oh, that's not too bad.
The laptop's hiding you.
There you go.
So I haven't waxed in like well over a year, and I have to get waxed next week.
Job.
Bonus.
Yeah. So the Muff Said is really legit, man. We're authentic.
I tried to date a girl who had black hair, and I mean, this is brief, and it was so thick. I felt like I needed a machete to get through it.
See, I'm not that furry. Like I get a little
so
fluffy.
awful.
Yeah.
I mean, she was such a hippie.
I personally like hair. I've been.
I like a little hair, but not
Well, I've never had a girl that had a shaved pussy until like
it's
5 years
scratchy.
ago. Like all the girls from Ohio, they all have bushes, and so I'm so used to it, and I do miss it. Like now, it's like I forgot all about it. Like it's like an old friend.
I don't mind it on top. It's down
the butthole.
In the
lips,
I mean in the business part. That's where I would like it.
I don't get that
I don't want to
hairy,
be,
so it doesn't bother me.
I mean, I already got enough hair around my mouth as it is. I don't need to be adding to it. It's like.
Well, maybe like the hair, like they lock together, and so it's like a goatee, pussy hair, like Velcro system.
Well, there is the flavor saver, I guess, aspect of,
Yeah. God damn it, Ryan! Everyone loves you on Twitter. That's why you're awesome. It's like, no, I'll show you right now. That's like the first time I met Ryan. We were doing a podcast, and she's just like, "Oh," and just takes off her shirt out of nowhere. We're like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" Like, it was so.
I was vaguely goated. I didn't just randomly get naked. Someone made a suggestion, and so I was like, "Oh, okay."
That's amazing.
Have
you always been like that? Have you always been just like throw your clothes off? Do you just love being naked,
or grocery store?
So when I was a little kid, I'm a middle child, and I am like the ultimate embodiment of a middle child. I'm like, hey, pay attention to me. Like, I get really like the guy that I'm dating. I don't mind that he's not fucking me. I just mind that he's not paying attention to me. Like, if I could go over tonight, like, I don't care whether or not he put out.
What kind of guy is this? A monster?
He's old.
I mean, I like to be with like if I'm not here at work.
Wait, how old is he?
I like to be with her.
Oh my, he's like 20 years older than me.
Wow. Oh, that's your problem.
Yeah, he's like super old. But he's a huge nerd, which is great.
It's Stanley.
No, that would be 80 years older.
That motherfucker.
Yeah, he's like 7 years older than me. So I need attention. And when I was a little kid, if I wasn't getting enough attention, I would literally take off all of my clothes and like run for the driveway and see how far I could get before everyone would like freak out and chase me down.
Good time.
So things really haven't changed.
Yeah, they haven't changed at
all.
Can you imagine just being the lucky guy that was neighbors with her growing up, like in the neighborhood? Like,
talk about my neighbors now. You've been to my apartment. You know how big my windows are.
Oh yeah.
Guess who doesn't wear clothes ever?
Oh my god.
I JO with the windows open at all times.
Wow.
And the thing is, my neighbors don't pay attention. Like, I'm doing it as a service for the neighborhood.
Nobody looks up in LA.
Nobody looks up.
Nobody looks up. I've done some crazy shit in my apartment, but I'm 9 stories up. You're like 2 stories up.
The only time they pay attention is if I'm drunk and having lightsaber fights. That's like literally the only time. I'm like, I walk around, and it's cool because if they were weird about it, then I would get weird about it. But because no one's weird about it, I'm like, yeah.
I need to fucking rent that apartment. I would be sitting there just nonstop waiting. I would be like, fuck my free cams.
I used to have some neighbors that used to come home every night, and we had an alleyway between my studio window, or the bedroom that I was using them as studio, and their bedroom. And the blinds would be closed all day long, and they would come home and open up all the blinds, get naked, and just spend the rest of the night either fucking or laying in bed talking. And I would just leave like one Venetian blind kinked like all the time. Mm-hmm. So when I'd see the lights come on, it'd be like, oh yeah, something to look at,
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't great looking by any stretch, but still, it was like, hey, a free show for me,
Yeah. I remember I used to share a room growing up with my sister because my parents were divorced, and me and my sister had to share a room growing up in an apartment. And I think I was like maybe in 6th grade, but I remember our neighbors, their bedroom was next to ours in the apartment. I remember sitting there. I started off with cups, doing the cup to the wall thing, trying to hear them have sex, because they had sex all the time. And then I got to the point where like I had this photo or painting hanging up above my bed, and when my sister fell asleep, every day I would like wake up and I would take the screwdriver and slowly push it through and try to like my idea in my head was I was going to push a hole all the way through so I could spy on them, but there was like a firewall or something in between there. But I remember every day I would just sit there and just try to grind it a little bit more, and then my sister would wake up. And it got to the point where the hole became so big that somehow my mom saw it, and then she's like, "What the fuck happened?" I'm like, "I don't know. I hit the wall. I don't know what the fuck." But
you had to share a room with your sister?
Yeah, and unfortunately it wasn't as hot as it sounds because she was...
No, I had to share a room with my sister, and it sucked balls.
Yeah.
Fuck that noise.
Yeah.
That's why I live alone today.
And also, a tip for you 7-year-olds that are listening to this right now, if your mom or dad gives you a diary, that's them trying to figure out what you're doing, and they will read it every single night. So if you steal money with your friend, if you steal your friend's dad's piggy bank money with your friend, do not fucking put it in your diary and say that you bought a brand new Voltron with it, because your mom will find out and then you'll get in trouble.
Yeah, diaries are stupid. People are like, oh, when are you going to write your book? You have all these stories. And I'm like, you can hear my stories if you want to buy me alcohol. But I don't want to see all my sins listed in black and white and being all accountable and shit.
I learned not to take free candy from a guy in a van firsthand.
Yeah.
Did not end well.
Oh. Come on, you could tell us.
This is a safe place.
Yeah. His mouth tastes like black licorice, didn't it?
That's how I knew he was gay. No.
Ryan, did you play doctor with all your neighborhood friends in your neighborhood? Did I ask you this already? Probably.
I wasn't. Okay, so I was such a nerd. I really didn't have friends growing up. Like, the reason I'm such a nerd is because none of the cool kids would hang out with me. So I spent and I got beat up. So I'd spent all of my library time reading in the library. I'm sorry, all the recess time reading in the library. And then the only people that would like hang out with me would be like the super dorks. And like, I wasn't even cool at the nerd table. Like, I had to like maybe like sweet talk the nerds into letting me sit at the nerd table because it was that or eating alone.
Right.
Super dork. But I did have a best friend who lived next door and went to a different school. And because we're next door neighbors and we went to a different school, she didn't mind hanging out with me because I didn't bring down her cred or anything. And we used to play like boyfriend and girlfriend games where I was always the boyfriend, and we always had like the stupidest names for it. Like because we didn't want my little sister to find out what we were doing, which was dry humping.
You and your sister would dry hump each other?
No. I was dry humping my best friend, and so when we wanted to play our boyfriend girlfriend game, we had to call it we used to call it MISSISSIPPIA as girls because my little sister was too young to like spell that. I don't know. We had we used to call it like hot sticks and like came with like the stupidest names. Like, oh, let's go play whatever. And then Anna won't know. And then basically we used to play where I was the boyfriend. Mm-hmm. And basically it just came down to me dry humping her and her giving me fake blowjobs.
So you never actually licked her pussy?
No.
And you never did any of that?
Well, once when I was 16 and it was weird because we were like way too close of friends at that point. And I was like, it'd be like, we grew up, I don't know her since I was 2. I consider her she's basically a sister. Like, I consider her older brother like my almost brother. So this one time when we were having this group sex experience, I tried to go down on her and I was totally skeeved out.
Yeah, I used to just me and my best friend, me and him used to take there was 3 hot neighborhood girls who grew up to be the most popular girls in high school, which was awesome. But we used to take them underneath the ping pong table and put towels on or blankets all over and made a fort. And we used to act like doctors, and they would just all lined up. And we're like, all right, now take off your pants. And they would all 3 be lined up. And this is when we were 11 or 12 or something like that. And then they would all take off their underwear. And then me and my friend would sit there and be like, okay, first up. And I would put a pencil on her vagina and then smell it and then lick it.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then we'd go to the next girl and then take the pencil and smell it, lick it, and then we just did shit like that all the time, these poor girls, and they loved it. They were begging for it, and I want to go back to when I was 12.
It was just for me, it was lots of dry humping, and that was the thing is that we played boyfriend and girlfriend, and she'd come home from work and she'd be like, okay, baby, I'm done with work. Now it's time for me to give you a blowjob. And we'd stuff all sorts of things in my pants. So I'd have a fake penis for her to suck on.
Good God.
And then we would dry hump. And to this day, I think that's probably why I ended up in lesbian pornography and why I love using a strap on.
Can you imagine? I mean, I know I've been seeing some stories about how kids today are growing up with seeing so much porn,
right?
And now girls think it's perfect, not only perfectly natural, but the thing to do. No, blow cum all over my face. Oh, that's
blocking.
I just got
I'm amazed by that. I mean,
I got in a big fight. So I was trying before I started. I'm dating a new guy who's old, and it's a few weeks old, whatever. But before we started dating, I randomly had this one night stand with this 25-year-old.
Oh.
And
God, can't you just get somebody your age? I mean, 25, you went younger? You're never supposed to go younger with a guy.
I know. He was... He this is fucked up. He made me think of Patrick Bateman, and that made me want to have sex with him.
Patrick Bateman?
Yeah, I met him at a charity event, and he has, from American Psycho.
Yeah.
So he's like
weirder.
full on like 25-year-old Patrick Bateman, and like.
Did he do this when he was fucking you? He's like.
He might as well have, because so we fuck once, and then like he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna blow in your face. I'm like, no, you're not. Like, you don't know me that well. You're not coming in my face.
Well, he thought you were a porn star, so he was just like,
no, he didn't know I was a porn star. He met me under my real name when I was volunteering at a charity event. He had no idea. No idea. Like, I was just some girl he met at a charity event.
Unfortunately, Ryan, you just look at you and you are a porn star.
You just want to blow all over my face?
No. You are a porn star.
You're welcome.
You look at you and you can't just be like a fucking secretary at H&R Block. You're.
I was wearing my pearls, okay? It was very conservative. So, like.
Well, he's trying to give you another pearl.
Yeah, so he's like, yeah, babe, you're about to make me come in your face. And I'm like, no. And so he finishes whatever, and then I'm really horny, so we do it again. And then, like, afterwards, he's like, wow, he's like, good job, and tried to high-five me because I made him come again.
Wow.
And I was like, I can't have sex with 25-year-olds.
What is wrong with you? Why would you even think that would be good?
I was like, so where's my gold star?
Where's my gold star?
It was so bad because he was like, dude, he's like, I didn't like. He's like, you're like really good. Like, I didn't know like I could like come again. Like, you should be like proud of yourself. And I was like, I'm like, you learned how to fuck from RedTube, didn't you?
I could just see him leaving the room and go, achievement accomplished.
Level up.
Get a little Xbox. Yeah, I fucked a 45-year-old when I was 21.
Wow.
And man, she taught me some things.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I never got to do that.
She was hot. I mean,
are you not drinking your beer?
Oh yeah, you can have it.
You're such a slut. I bring you beer and.
See, I used to be the shyest guy in the world, and
me too.
This is a goofy story, but I was 20 years old. I weighed about 170. I was sporting a mustache and a crew cut and no glasses. And Top Gun comes out, and it turns out I looked exactly like Goose from Top Gun. To the point where people would stop me on the street. Like I couldn't walk down the street. People would just stop me. And here
Pixar didn't happen.
The shyest guy in the world. I just wanted to blend
Pixar
in.
didn't happen.
And now I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? And so I was working at Domino's at the time, and I just got tired of it. And I was like, I need to own this shit, and I applied at a nightclub to get a job as a barback or a busboy, and I got the job, and oh my God, it turns out it ended up being a cougar bar.
Oh wow!
And it was a place called Studebaker's, and not only do I have to work there,
in its natural habitat.
Yeah. And but we had to also lip sync throughout the night. It was like Coyote Ugly before there was Coyote Ugly,
right.
except it was like a soda fountain kind of place. And it was just an amazing place for a guy who had. I mean, it forced me to be not so shy, and within like 6-8 months, I was the head DJ. Like something, it just clicked, and
did you get to say really cheesy DJ things?
Oh my God, yeah! Did cheesy things. I got up and lip synced "You Lost That Lovin' Feeling." I mean, it was goofy shit, but it got me laid so much it was unbelievable.
Yeah, I was a huge loser until my senior year in high school, and then I lost some weight. My body kind of started like getting taller or whatever, and then I became at the time Corey Haim, which was the hottest thing in the world, where I would sit around and like have like pictures of me and my Celica. And
wait, is that you?
Yeah, and my pager.
Is that you?
And I'd just be posing with my Nirvana shirt on, be like, oh man, this Celica.
We need to bring this look back because hipster bitches will die.
You think?
Well,
Look at my peg jeans.
Oh, that's so good.
And my round sunglasses. Like, what the fuck is wrong? Look at that pager.
Nice.
Look how big that motherfucker was. For you younger kids, that's what we used to carry around instead of cell phones. And all it did was text. It gave us a phone number to call.
Yeah.
By the way, let's talk about you and cars. Why the fuck did you get a Beetle?
Because the new Beetle is fucking badass. Have you seen the new Beetle?
You sent me pictures, and I have.
Well, Ray, look. Let me just first say that I have hated the new Beetle up to recently. What happened is Volkswagen had the new Beetle, and it was really gay. I mean, even had a flower pot for a flower and stuff like that. And it was everyone thought the new Beetle was gay. And so Volkswagen was like, all right, we're only selling to fucking girls in college. We need to figure something else out.
I do like the new sedans. It's looking very Mercedes-esque. I'm not gonna lie.
The new sedan. So what they did is they pretty much went back to the drawing board. They redesigned the whole entire thing. They just scrapped the whole design. They went kind of more back to the original style. Like they kind of took what they did is the original Volkswagen was created by the Porsche company, and it was actually Hitler.
Yeah, it was Hitler.
Hitler was like
people's car.
They wanted a car for his Reich, which is my last name, Reichel, and so they created the Volkswagen book.
I love that you're embracing your Nazi background right now.
Well, I want you to know.
Just when I thought this show couldn't get more offensive. Right?
Well,
like,
I want you to.
No. It's Reichel, like the Third Reich.
Well, it has nothing to do with this. But what I didn't know that until after I bought my car, and the only reason I bought it is because I posted some photos on Twitter, and everyone's like, "Did you know Hitler created that?" And I had no. I promise on my mom's tits that I had no idea.
How sweet are your mom's tits?
They're fucking delicious, big areolas. No, but anyways, that's horrible. I said that. I hope my mom does not listen to this. But so. What they did is they scrapped the whole design, and they were like, let's design a badass version of it that is more appealing to guys. So this time they decided, no, fuck the girls, we're going to make a guy Porsche. So they created one that kind of takes the style of the original, and they added...
It's like they smushed it.
They pretty much squished the whole thing. It's fatter, it's closer to the ground, it's got bigger wheels. They also... And I got the
how are your 12 cats going to fit in there?
I got the I got the turbo version, which is it adds a fin to it. So mine actually looks different than this one.
But they also increase the power and
so now it's super fast. It's turbo, anyways.
This is. I have opinions about cars, but you should know that I steal all of my opinions from BBC's Top Gear. So basically, until Richard Hammond says that he likes this car, I'm going to make fun of you for it.
Well, here's something that you should watch, because just to show you how geeky and guy it is, I don't know if you've seen this commercial or not.
I don't have a TV.
All right, let's just look at this commercial. It starts off so cute. Shows a fat dog trying to lose some weight so it can get through through the door. It's working out. But one thing I can say, what's really cool is that it has paddle shifters on the steering wheel, so you can go from automatic to manual and just like
yeah, my Mini Cooper has that.
Yeah, well, that's how I found out. That's how I found out about this. I went to go see Mini Cooper. I was about to buy that. There's the one with the fin. See how it's a fin kind of now, like a Porsche. Anyways, look how geeky this is.
Oh, that's great!
Okay, this is why you bought it.
The dog's better. Are you kidding? The dog is funnier than the Vader kid.
I mean, how better than to get fucking Star Wars involved in it? No, but I didn't actually even see this commercial. So how I got into it though is I actually went to go look at a Mini Cooper, Ryan, and I was about to buy the top of the line turbo fucking Mini Cooper. It was $40,000, and I was like, wow, this is a lot of money for such a small ass car. And then I was like,
I have moved cross country in my Mini Cooper multiple times, and it still is a rock star.
I get it. But
I did the entire state of Texas at 110. Thank you very much.
I get it, and I'll race you sometime. But but then I went online and I was like reading reviews on the Mini Cooper. I was like, I'm going to think about it overnight before I get it. And then every review is like, this is great, a great car and stuff like that. But the new Volkswagen Beetle blows it out of the water when it comes to price and features and speed and stuff. My car was $10,000 cheaper, and it is just a fucking maniac. It's so fast. I can't even. The craziest thing is I was talking to Rogan the other day about it. Like every time I go around a corner, like going a little bit fast, because there's this like turn. I was on Laurel Canyon, and if you don't know what Laurel Canyon is, it's like wavy street, and I was going really fast, and it felt like the axle, the back part, was on a different kind of like one of those long buses or a fire truck where it has two different steering wheels. It felt like it was like kind of trying to catch up with the front part. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And Joe goes, dude, you're gliding, because it has race car tires, or it has like speed tires, and so now every time I'm driving around, I'm gliding around, like drifting. That's what I'm.
Drifting,
you drift a lot in this car. Wow. Like I've never had a car where you're just constantly drifting when you're going around corners.
That sounds slightly dangerous.
No, it's nice, and I recommend it. It's yeah. So, anyways, I know you're making fun of me, Ryan, but
like I said, I will make fun of you until Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond says that it's a good car. In that case, I will admit that I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, I don't know if have they even seen it yet? Have they even done?
I don't know. I'm waiting for the new season to come out.
I'm sure they'll do something.
Yeah.
What? Huh?
I'm sure they'll do something. I mean,
oh my god, I love that show.
Are you jealous, Ryan? Are you jealous of this?
Oh my god, I love Superman Red Sun. This is one of my favorite books of all time. So Superman Red Sun is one of my favorite comic books of all time, because what it does is that it takes the concept of Superman falling to Earth, but saying that he fell is either 12 hours before or 12 hours after, and instead of landing in America, he lands in Russia.
In the Ukraine. It becomes Stalin's adopted son. So.
And look who just happens to be on the cover of that.
Focus.
Oh. Anyways.
Yeah, I started it, and then I freaked out, and then somebody else had to finish it. But
you freaked out?
It's
too much awesome.
I just realized I'd rather do other things than interior art for the most part. So that's why I'm more of a cover artist now, and I got a job in animation, and it's been a good career ever since. So.
Look what else I got, Ryan. Look at this. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't seen this.
I thought I
Jeff,
gave you
don't love me anymore.
This is how
you don't even know my name, so why should I? You called me Jeff.
God damn
it. Anyways, this is his scrapbook, 2008 sketchbook. I'm sorry. And is this something that you do every year, and that you just kind of release a sketchbook, or
not every year? I just did it that year.
Wow, look at that. That's so cool.
Yeah. Dave Johnson is
spectacular. It's got like designs, all sorts of just goofy shit.
Look at that right there. That looks like a little...
Yeah, it was like for a children's show pitch that never made it.
Do you remember before the movie Cars, there was another movie, I think it was, that was talking cars that looked exactly like that. Do you remember? Are you
sure it wasn't a movie? It was the Chevron commercials.
No. There was in the old days, kids. There used to be before VCRs. Your mom used to go to libraries to rent projectors. I don't know if you remember this. Like if you had a birthday party, you would rent a movie projector and some films, and instead because you didn't have VCR, you didn't have a TV. So one of the movies my mom rented, and it was my favorite. It had tugboats in it, and it had cars, and they all had faces, and it was kind of like Tom the Train or whatever, or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was, but it was Cars, and it was exactly the movie Cars from Pixar, but it was exactly like that. I remember there was little cars, and they all had faces. One was faster, one was a leader. It was, I can't remember.
Maybe if I saw it, it would.
Yeah,
spark
I don't know.
My mom used to collect all those Chevron cars.
The Chevron cars.
All right, we've been doing this for a really long time, and I really have to pee.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Are you done? I just got informed there's a midget at Drink and Draw right now. So
what?
I'm like,
I'm
gonna
go
head over there right now.
Drink and Draw.
Are you gonna head over there right now?
Go to Drink and Draw because you can hang out with Dave.
Actually,
Johnson.
don't go to Drink and Draw. It's getting too popular.
It is getting too popular. Yeah, why? That's why I don't tell people where it is.
I get to the point where I don't even have a place to sit, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I think we need to move it to a top secret location.
Well, we were talking about possibly doing two, like we'll do a public one and then a private one maybe once a month, just to...
My apartment is always available.
No, we'd still do it at a bar, but just not invite every, just like keep it under wraps.
Ryan, my face is always available.
It is? What's that?
And follow me on Twitter, bitches.
Yeah, so follow
Devil Pig
Dave Johnson.
666.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm hilarious.
You and Jeff can't have the same last name. I find it confusing after 2 beers.
Just call me the Reverend. I don't know.
And by the way, the song we opened up with was Death Squad Dubstep by Refugee of Reality. It's on YouTube. I just found it today, and I was like, wow, cool.
And if you want to see more of my art, go to devilpig.deviantart.com.
And you can always follow me at Ryan Keely. Pay for porn at ryankeely.com because I don't want a real job. Follow me on Twitter, /Ryan Keely. That's RyanKeely. And we've got some hot shit coming up.
Does anybody pay for porn anymore?
Yeah.
What?
Huh?
No, they don't. That's why I have to get a real job, and I'm pissed.
Yeah, and we have an Ice House Chronicles Friday here at the Ice House. Go to icehousecomedy.com. Or you can watch it live, the green room part of it, at 10 o'clock PS Pacific time. And the Death Squad t-shirt, limited edition, first edition t-shirt, it's almost sold out. I'm putting I have 2 boxes left, and I'm putting them on sale Monday. So once that's out, the second edition comes out in a couple of weeks. So if you want that first edition, do it now. All right. So Ryan, guys, great seeing you.
Incest is best. Watch Star Wars.
All right, see you guys.
Muff said, busting the caps fundamental. Madden said 90% is half mental. That's you talking, I'm just not into. Your words don't last like chalk or pencil. You hear this style, it's not no rental. Songs like this be monumental. Frontin' about weapons like your presidential. Hold it right there, uno momento. Sounds like the vibe is yeah.
Death.